Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to the stream. I'm glad that you're all here. So I'm gonna cut off the music here real quick. Just turn that down. There we go. And now, welcome, welcome. So for some reason the webcam isn't going. It was before, so let's try unplugging it and plugging it back in. See if that's the issue. Still no webcam. And we'll try a different USB port. Still no webcam. Huh. I wonder why that is. Alright, well, let's maybe work for a little bit, and then after that, then maybe we'll deal with what's going on with the webcam. So thank you all that are here on the stream. My name's Peter, and we're going to be streaming about JupyterHub and then how we can incorporate some auto adding of users into JupyterHub today. So first we'll just start off talking about who I am, why I'm doing it. We'll review where the GitHub repo can be found for the stream. Review the JupyterHub docs location and the docs that we're following. And then we'll talk about what we did last time. We'll log into the server. And then we're going to build a JSON file that has our JupyterHub users in it. And then after that, we'll view our login page and see whether maybe we'll make some customizations to that, or maybe we'll hack on another project. It depends upon how long it takes us to do the uploading of students or users with JSON. All right. So I am Peter, and I teach engineering during the day, but I'm also a coder, a blogger, and an author. So you can read my blog Python for undergrad engineers. Here's a post about Python and doing some unit conversions. You can find my book on Amazon, Problem Solving with Python 3.7 edition, A Beginner's Guide to Python and Open Source Programming Tools. If you like the work on this stream, then you can support it by purchasing the book. The GitHub repo for the stream can be found here on my GitHub profile. And this week we are in episode 7. This is our planned 7th of 8 episodes, so there's only going to be one more episode in this season, which will be next week. So if you want to see any of the files that we're using on the stream, they can be found here in this GitHub repo. So we've got a code of conduct for the stream. If you are participating, commenting, and then also for me. So we'll just go over that real quick. If you're participating with us, be friendly and patient, be welcoming, be considerate, be respectful, be careful of the words that you choose, moderate your expectations. I'm not doing this professionally. I don't get paid for it. I've got a day job. I'm doing this as a way to reach out, learn new things, and hopefully share new things with you. So please moderate your expectations. When we disagree, try to understand why and know that a simple apology can go a long way. Now we've been deploying JupyterHub in this stream, and the JupyterHub docs can be found here. If you have other questions about JupyterHub, this is a good place to go, a good place to learn about other things you can do with JupyterHub or other ways to deploy JupyterHub. The deployment docs that we've been following can be found here, and I'll copy this and put it in the chat. Actually, I'll go to the main page for the docs and go to home, and then I'll copy that one into the chat. So docs for this JupyterHub deployment. If you would like to follow along and see what we've done. So last week what we did was we added Google authentication to our JupyterHub server, and now we can log into our JupyterHub server using Google usernames and passwords. So let's go to our Linode dashboard and start up our JupyterHub server. So I'll go here to my server, and then we can see that it's offline. So I want to put it back online, get it started. So I'll click this power on button, and this will take just a couple seconds for the server to reboot and restart. Still going. We see our booting. Now it says at 100%. Now it says it's running. Sweet. Alright, so let's log onto our server with PuTTY and then start JupyterHub and see if we can log in. So I'm opening up PuTTY, and here in the PuTTY window I have a saved set of credentials to log into our server. The important things here on PuTTY are that we're communicating over SSH, that this is our IP address that we want to log into. That's the IP address of our JupyterHub server. Here in the data pane, you make sure you put your user that you're going to log into the server with. Our non-root sudo user's name is Peter. And then here in SSH and auth, make sure that you include the SSH key that you create with PuTTYgen. So I'll go back here and click open to log into the server. Looks like we logged in okay. So I'll do those typical apt-get update, apt-get upgrade commands. It's because we just restarted the server. So I'll do sudo apt-get ey update and sudo apt-get ey upgrade. Type in my password, hope I can remember it. And this shouldn't take too long. We upgraded the server about a week ago. Let's just make sure that all the installed packages on the server are all up to date. Once this completes, we're going to check and make sure that Nginx is running. Nginx is running as a reverse proxy server. And then we're also going to restart JupyterHub. So before I do a lot of work here, I like typing in this special command that modifies the shell prompt. Use right click to paste. And this PS1 variable, That's a variable that sets what the shell prompt looks like. So we're saying that we want it to show our username at JHServer, the directory, and then a new line and the dollar symbol. And I think this just makes it easier to see any commands that we type. So this is our current working directory, which is home, and then on this line these are all the commands that we'll type. So let's see if Nginx is running or not. So we'll type sudo systemctl status Nginx. And we see here that Nginx is active and running. I'm going to press Control C to get out of the dashboard and clear. This will just clear the screen. Now let's start JupyterHub. So we'll type sudo systemctl start JupyterHub. And now let's check the status, sudo systemctl status JupyterHub. And it says it's active and running. Awesome. So type Control C to exit out of the dashboard. And I'll type clear just to clear the screen. So now if we go to a web browser and browse to our domain name that we hooked up to JupyterHub, type engr101lab.org, we should be able to sign in. So I'm going to switch to the private screen here while I log in. So I clicked that sign in link, and it's going to ask me which Google account I want to use. And whoops, I'll try that one more time. I clicked the wrong Google account there. Let's try the other Google account. OAuth state missing from cookies is what I'm getting. So let's try this. So I'm going to quick log into that Google account in my web browser first and make sure that that's the account that I'm logged in with. So I've got another browser tab and I'm just logging into Google with that account. Just opening up Gmail with that account so that this browser session is using that account, not a different one. Okay, and now I'll go back to the web address here, engr101lab.org, and I'll click sign in again. And it's asking me which user. Nice. Alright. So that seemed to work. Just logging into Gmail and another tab for that account that we want to log in. So let's make sure the server works. Let's write a little Python code here. This will open up a new Jupyter notebook for us. And let's call this, I don't know, simple function notebook. So let's write a simple function. Maybe we'll say print hello. And then we'll accept an argument here of name. And then on the body of our function, then we'll write print. and we'll use F for Python F string and say hello, and then include our variable name. So we'll end the string and the print, and then let's type print underscore hello, and then let's say hello to Peter, and our function returns what code we put in there. It says hello Peter. Sweet. So it seems like our JupyterHub instance is working. I know this isn't like a thorough test of everything that we could do with a Jupyter notebook, but we did write and run some Python code. So I'm going to go here to the control panel, click leave, and note that I've got this admin button, and if I click that admin button, then I can see the users and then possibly see servers that I could stop. So let's stop that running server, and then let's log out. Great. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to build in a way that we can add a whole bunch of other users. Like if we have other people at our company that want to use JupyterHub, or if we have other people in our lab or in our classes that want to use our JupyterHub instance. And we're going to put all of those names in a JSON file. So I'm going to close that, and then go back here just so that we've got this ready. Alright, so I'm going to open up VS Code locally, and what we're going to do is we're going to build a user list from a JSON file. And here, if we open up this JupyterHub config.py file, where we've got our users listed, where are they? Down here under extra configuration. Computer's really dragging here. Okay, so this part is what we call idle servers. Here it is. Okay. Here are admin users, and we could also set our, I believe, whitelist users. So if I do a find here and look for white, the whitelist is used to log on. And I'm just looking, see, authenticator, whitelist. So this is the little bit of code that we want to include. Okay, so let's see, what order are we going to do this? I guess first let's drag our JupyterHub config that's currently running on the server down locally. Then we'll put in this new whitelist configuration in, and then we'll start messing around with JSON. Let's do it that way. So I'm going to open up FileZilla. FileZilla is a FTP application that will allow us to move move files back and forth to our server. And I do have FileZilla installed here. Why is it not showing me FileZilla? Here we go. My poor little laptop here is really dragging. Wow. Just gonna quick check, do I've got other things going on? No, I got OBS, I got the chat. Doesn't look like anything extra is happening. So here I'll go to File and then Site Manager. And I've already created a site for our JupyterHub server. The important things here is you select SFTP as the protocol, that you include the IP address of the server. Then the login type is key file. I found that using root as the user is the best because there were some files that I couldn't add if I wasn't root because it didn't have the permissions. And then here for the key file, you want to specify the key that you created with PuttyGen. So I'll click Connect here. And I want to open up locally on the left-hand side. These are our files locally. And then on the right-hand side, this is the server. So let's go to etsy/JupyterHub. And that will show us where our JupyterHub config.py file is. So I'm going to drag that over to the local side. And I get the little bell from FileZilla that the file transfer finished. And now if I go to VS Code, I should see this new JupyterHub config.py file. Alright, so let's scroll down here, down to where we've got our admin users. And we'll add this c.authenticator whitelist set command. So I'll give that a save. So what we want to do is import these names in from a file rather than importing them, or excuse me, rather than hard coding them directly. So I'll create a new file that's called users.json. And then in this users.json file, we'll have two different keys. We'll have whitelist users. Make that a string. And we'll make this an array of strings. So we'll say like Peter, Gabby, Mael, and then we'll have another string. These will be our admin users. And we'll make those Peter and Peter.Kazarnoff. Now this is all red, which makes me worry. Why is it all red? Is it because I used single quotes? Let's see if that's why. Huh. Look at that. Alright. I didn't know that you've got to use double quotes. Have I done all of them? Oh, this one. Okay. Double quotes in JSON. It's nice to have a code editor, though, that tells you these things. Okay, so we've got those users. Now let's open up a Python prompt and see if we can pull these users out here. So I'm opening up a Python prompt locally, and I'll cd into the episode 01 or season 01 episode 07 directory, and then I'll write Python. So here we have the Python prompt. So let's see if we can open that users.json file. So I'll say with open users.json as f, and then we'll do, we're going to have to import the JSON module. So we'll first import JSON. There we go. And then we'll do with open users.json in reading mode as f. And then we'll say users dict is equal to json.loads f. Must be string byte or byte array, not text IO wrapper. So why didn't that work? Let's go back to our JupyterHub config and see how we did it there. Oh, json.load, not json.loads. That's why. Okay. With open users.json r as f, users dict is equal to json.load f. And now if we take our users dict and we look at the key admin users, then that'll give us our list of admin users. If we do users dict whitelist users, users dict, not user dict. Here we go. Then that'll give us the list of those users. So we're basically going to use this and then plug it in. But let's see if we do set of users dict whitelist users. Yeah, we'll run that. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to do exit, open parentheses, close parentheses, CLS, just to clear. So I like that, but I think I'm just going to call this one users and that one admin users. I like that a little bit better. So now let's drag this JSON file over. Or maybe, yeah, we'll modify JupyterHub config.py first. Okay, so down here, users. So we're going to type with open, and then we need to specify the full file path. So I'm going to copy this. Go back down. And paste it in here. And we're not going to be modifying collegeid.json. We want to open users.json. And then we want to take read, and then we'll do a users dict is equal to JSON dot load, and then F. With open as F. There we go. Okay. Now we'll add in pulling out those admin or whitelist users. So this will be users dict, and we'll get the key users. And then here, do set users dict, and then we'll pull out the key admin users. So I'll save that, our modified JupyterHub config file. So let's go back to FileZilla and now drag these files over. I'm gonna go up one and then go back because I should have this new users.json. Let's make sure that's saved. Users.json. Save it. And let's make sure this JupyterHub config is saved. Go back to FileZilla, and we'll drag our users.json over, and we'll drag our JupyterHub config.py over. We'll do an overwrite. Okay, now let's go back to PuTTY and our server, and we'll shut down JupyterHub and then restart it. See if we get any errors. So sudo systemctl stop JupyterHub. And now sudo systemctl start JupyterHub. And now let's see if there are any errors. It says it's active and running. So let's go back to our web browser and see if we can sign in. So I'll select the login. And it looked like that worked, that we're logged in, and that we go to the control panel. We still have admin because we set that user to have admin privileges. Sweet. So it looks like our little modification here worked. So I'm going to right now hit stop my server and hit log out. So back here, let's take these users.json. Let's copy this, and then let's make a new users example.json, and we'll paste this in, and then we'll write like Peter, Kendra, Toby, and then admin users Peter and some other user. Let's do a save. Just don't want to commit those exact users to source control. So I'm going to go here and we'll put in our git ignore season 01, episode 07, and this was users.json. And note here now VS Code takes that out. Cool. So I'm going to take a little drink, get a little stretch, and then we'll think about what else we want to try to accomplish today. Say this stuff is GitHub and Google client secrets. And this is specific user or college information. So we said next maybe we'd mess around with a custom login page. Alright, well let's see about how do we mess around with a custom login page. I'm going to go back here to the docs that we're following for the stream. And then we'll select here, custom login page. Alright, so it says that's what that looks like. We'd want it to look like that. So it says if you aren't using a virtual environment, a JupyterHub package name will be different, but this is in M's packages, JupyterHub shared, JupyterHub templates, and then it's all of these files, and we need to copy all of those files into a new templates directory, and then we can start messing around with the directory and the template path. Okay. So I'm going to see first if these templates are in fact in this directory, and then we'll run this copy command and stick them into this templates directory. So back here on the server, type clear, and we'll cd into /opt, and then list, then we'll cd into miniconda 3, then we'll list, and then it said go into env, so we'll cd into envs, and then we'll list, and we'll cd into JupyterHub env, and then we'll list. And now I gotta go back to the docs. It's under M's share JupyterHub. So then we'll cd into share, and then list, and then cd into JupyterHub, and then list. And here we've got a static and a templates directory. So what we're going to do is we'll copy this templates directory into the Etsy JupyterHub directory, and we'll use this command here. Use the right mouse button to paste. And now if we cd to /Etsy/JupyterHub and then list, now we've got this new templates directory. Okay, so which template do we want to see if we can mess around with? So it says login.html is the file that we want to modify. So now I'm going to go back to FileZilla, and if we refresh to the Etsy JupyterHub directory, then here's the templates and the login file. I'll drag that over to our local folder, and then here in VS Code, let's open up that login file. So this is in the form of a Jinja template. So it extends this original page template, and then it looks for announcements, and then it's got this login widget block, and then end block, and then the main block is login, and then here it says sign in with login service. So let's just mess around with this, and let's rewrite sign in with JupyterHub. Actually, I'll do a Z. Sign in with JupyterHub, not, and then this login service. So let's give that a save. And now let's drag it back over with FileZilla. And we want to overwrite the file that's there. Give us the ding. Okay. And now we need to make the change in our JupyterHub config that we want to use that template directory. So it's here, set a custom HTML template at the login screen. So I'll copy that, go back here, to the local VS Code, and then open up the JupyterHub config that we've been messing around with. And then down here, we'll put a custom login page. And then here's a first move the Jinja templates out of, or not move, maybe we'll do copy the templates from the JupyterHub environment. And I think I'm going to put this copy thing in here. So this, that's the copy command, and then to find them, you go to this directory. We'll do NNLS, and that'll list out the directory. And maybe I'll put a $sign here to denote that those are shell prompt commands. Okay, so back here, we'll copy this. It sets these template paths to this location. Put that in down here. And give it a save. And now let's go back to FileZilla and drag our new, whoops, I don't want to do it there though. I want to do it here in the JupyterHub folder, not the templates folder. Drag that over. We'll click overwrite. Now let's go back to PuTTY in the server, and we'll restart JupyterHub. We'll do sudo systemctl. Let's try restart JupyterHub. And now we'll do sudo systemctl status JupyterHub. Sudo systemctl status JupyterHub. It says it's active and running. Alright, let's go to the web browser. And if we refresh here, this should say something different. Yeah, so it says sign in with JupyterHub, not Portland Community College. So we, in fact, did change what our login page was. So you could change just about anything on here, and you could make it look like your login page for whatever you're using, like in your lab or in your company, just using this same idea of modifying the template here with whatever HTML you would like to log in. Cool. Cool, that worked pretty well. Doing that little bit of custom login. So I think what I'll put here is sign in with a new custom login page. And then we'll maybe do from that service. So let's give that a save. From FileZilla, go back to templates, then drag our JupyterHub config file over. Should ding. Now let's see if we just refresh whether this will change. No, so maybe we'll have to restart JupyterHub. So back on the server, sudo systemctl restart JupyterHub, sudo systemctl status JupyterHub. Looks like it's running, everything's fine. Do control C to exit, and we should see sign in with a new custom login page now. Is it using a cached version? How about if I try a different web browser? If we do Firefox instead. It's installing updates. So let's go to engr101lab.org and see if our new custom login page is being used. Still says sign in with JupyterHub, not Portland Community College. So did I not move over our custom login page or not save it? Templates, login. Okay, overwrite. And actually, can I delete? I don't want that there. And then here, I'll drag in our JupyterHub config file again. Overwrite. So let's see if that worked. Nice. So now it says sign in with a new custom login page. Cool. Cool. So I think that's where we'll leave it today for the stream. So we got a couple things accomplished today. So what we did was we built in this JSON file that we could add users to and then read those users in. So we could populate that file with a whole bunch of users that we want, and then we don't have to add them manually to the JupyterHub config file. And then we also modified the login page, and I just did like a quick little example of ways that you could modify that JupyterHub login page, and you can go way, way further than that and make it really look like your own custom login page. So I think we'll leave it there for today's stream. So I want to make sure that I shut down JupyterHub, Nginx, and the server, and then I'll push all this stuff up. So I think what we'll do for the next episode what I'm going to try to do is use Ansible to deploy JupyterHub. And I think we're going to do it on DigitalOcean instead of on Linode. So that's what we'll work on next week. So let's go back to the server and we'll shut down JupyterHub. So sudo systemctl stop JupyterHub. If I go to my web browser and try to refresh, now it says bad gateway, but Nginx is running. So let's shut down Nginx. Sudo systemctl stop Nginx. And now if we try to refresh this page, it's probably going to just hang and say that our site can't be reached. So finally we'll type the command to shut down the server. Sudo shutdown -h now. And when I hit enter, then our PuTTY window is going to disconnect. There we go. So we can close this. We should also now notice here that the server unexpectedly closed the connection in FileZilla as well. Finally, let's go over here to Linode. And let's just shut the server down here too. So it says running, but I'm gonna click power off. If you are running JupyterHub in production, you probably don't want to turn it off like this. You probably want to have your users use it. But since I'm not going to use it until the stream next week, I want to shut it off right now. Good. Okay. So finally, let's make sure all of our code here is saved locally. That contents, that little login file that we modified, our JupyterHub config. Looks good. And now locally, this is the Anaconda prompt, a Windows command locally. So go back to the root directory for the stream. We'll type git add dot to add all the files. If we type now git status, it says that we've modified that. We added JupyterHub config, the login, and then the user examples. And so it didn't add our actual users.json that we wanted to keep out of source control. So now we'll do CLS, and we'll type git commit -m end of season 01 episode 07 stream. And now we'll type git push origin master. Good. Okay, so if we go to our web browser and go to the GitHub repo for the stream, and we reload this, we'll see, hopefully, that the files that we just committed and pushed are now available, just in case you want to see any of them. Okay, so that concludes the stream for today. I hope that you can join me next week when we try to use Ansible and deploy JupyterHub using Ansible. Thanks a lot, and I'll